What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D, and as always, I want to thank you guys for tuning into my channel. So I want to start this off by stating that the person who committed the horrible acts in New Orleans, Louisiana, was an American citizen. He was living in Texas, and he had also served in our military. However, that didn't stop Donald Trump from prematurely posting this bigoted statement. When I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. It didn't. The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Our hearts are with all the innocent victims and their loved ones, including the brave officers of the New Orleans Police Department. The Trump administration will fully support the city of New Orleans as they investigate and recover from this act of pure evil. Using a tragedy to spread hate and score political points is on brand for the Republican Party, especially Donald Trump. On the same day, he also posted this: Trump was right about everything. He wasn't. Donald Trump knows everything that you and I know about the perpetrator in New Orleans, yet he has not recanted either of these statements. He also knows how divisive and damaging these statements are, but he won't recant them because he doesn't care. Republicans also know everything that you and I know about the perpetrator in New Orleans, yet they are still going on television and making statements like this.
Look, I'm on the Border Security Caucus, and we've had former Border Patrol people come in and talk to us. 55,000 under Biden. I call him Biden because I think he's Obama's third term. 55,000 special interest aliens have come across our border. That's from countries who hate us: Iran, Iraq, Syria, Yemen. You can go right down the list. And yet they're coming into this country free. They've been handled at the border. Now, Cheryl, if only 10% got through that we didn't know about of 55,000, that's 5,500 special terrorists, potential terrorists that are in this country. In Mayorkas and company, as you know, they said we've got operational control of the border. He's been saying that forever. They're not doing their job, and Americans are paying the price for that.
There is so much to unpack with what he's saying here. So he calls him Joe Biden because he thinks he's Obama's third term, whatever the hell that means. It's like all of these people are just trying to be carbon copies of Donald Trump at this point. But then, in what I think is the most hateful statement, he says 55,000 people are being handled by Border Patrol agents who are trying to come across from countries that he says hates us. He also calls them special interest aliens. And then he says if 10% of them make it across the border, that's 5,500 terrorists, potential terrorists who are in our country. Make no mistake about it. When he says terrorists, that's what he meant. He does not mean to say potential terrorists. He is doing exactly what he knows he is doing. When he is talking about people coming across the border illegally and talking about migrants and migrant crime and stuff like that, and in the background, they have footage rolling of what happened in New Orleans, Louisiana, they're doing exactly what they want to do in this little news piece. They're trying to stow up hate and bigotry and vitriol towards people who have nothing to do with this tragedy. Again, they all know the facts. They know that the guy was born in this country. They know that he lives in Texas. They know that he was a member of our military. Yet they are still making bigoted statements about people coming across the border who have absolutely nothing to do with this. The fact that these people are trying to score political points by stowing up hate against people is outrageous, but it's not even, this has become so normal in this country that we expect it. When we see a tragedy happen, we expect now to see Republicans run to news stations to use that tragedy to score political points. We have normalized this bullshit in this country, and it is absolutely disgusting. The fact of the matter is that this is an American problem. The fact of the matter is Donald Trump was not right. He should be taking that statement down, but he won't. When he talks about the crime in other countries or the crime coming across our border is worse than the crime in our border and says he was right, when he's talking about a crime that actually happened in this country that was perpetrated by someone who was born in this country, He is trying to get people to get hateful towards Hispanic people and other people coming in, other brown people coming across the border. They use this type of hate to get power, and they're using this hate to stay in power. It is unfortunate that this has become so normal that even the mainstream media doesn't really call it out anymore. And this is why independent media has been growing so much. This is why channels like mine and Tennessee Brando, Midas Touch Network, Tabitha Speaks, Brian Coleman, this is why our channels have been growing so much, because the mainstream media has decided to bow the knee or bend the knee for Republicans at this point. They're just going to allow this type of hate and bigotry to spread without any pushback. And that is why we in independent media have to be the ones to call this out, because we are the real media now. And we expect you guys to definitely call it out. One thing that I love about everyone here, a lot of my followers, is that you guys send me videos and ideas of things to talk about, and I need that to keep happening. But I need you guys to be diligent in making sure that we always call it out. When we talk about being anti-racist, this is what we're talking about. That when statements like this are made, we have to call them out. We have to call out the bigotry, because at this point right now, if we don't, this country is heading down a road that I think will be irreversible. And it's shameful. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.